We've definitely seen a sharp increase in the amount of injuries that require the Tommy John surgery to correct. It has taken a significant toll on the sport, and both the league and I are concerned. There is so much pressure on these kids to perform. I mean, this kid's thrown a curved disc since he's been 5. His parents made sure of it, and look at him now.
It's just the first ball. It's my life. That's all I know how to do. I'm sorry. I can't.
As we saw here, you can be the best paid frizz pitcher in the game, but eventually bad mechanics will catch up to you.
I mean, me, I've been blessed. I signed a 10-year, $4,000 contract last season, so, you know, I can take enough time off to heal properly and get back out on that frizz bump, but it's just tough right now, you know? I mean, it's all I got.
To help a young athlete get back out there, that's why I took the oath. Buggy, before I forget, here's your bill for $53,000. And remember, no work for a year. Better keep him overnight for some observation and hopefully wakes up soon. The box score starts now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Collins, the box score. Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles, joined by the Danettes in Milford, Connecticut. We are kicking off a big old week in sports. We've got the NBA and NHL playoffs warming up. The NFL draft is on Thursday. And of course, Pacquiao Mayweather on Saturday, along with the Kentucky Derby. Now, Paula, you have said, and I think you even tweeted out, that you would actually rather watch the 8th round of the NFL draft rather than watching the fight. Now, what seems to be the deal with this for you?
Yeah, I didn't think about it that much until the past 2 weeks. I'm really bothered. Boxing, I loved growing up. I watched a lot of boxing. I still watch boxing. I watch a lot of Showtime, HBO, NBC now has it. But I don't like the way that Pacquiao, Mayweather, and their people strung this along for so long. I think it's gonna be the most overhyped, under-entertaining fight in years. And I'm just not gonna waste my time watching it. If I'm wrong, great. I hope I'm wrong.
Okay, well, let me put this one to you, McLovin. Would you rather be part of the Pacquiao or the Mayweather entourage going to the ring on Saturday, or stand side by side with Goodell during the first round?
Oh,
First round, too.
that's two controversial figures. I would like to do the bro hugs with Goodell. I just think the bro hugs are so cool. You know, everybody is so excited to be up there. Even if you have an issue with Goodell, you're going to give him a big hug.
I don't have an issue with Goodell. I have an issue with messing up the bro hug and looking really uncool.
But
like,
what-
some people go in for the shake, some people go up like this, some people just go straight hug. That's a lot of pressure over and over and over and over
And
again.
how do you get
Each
out
pick
of
is
the bro hug when you guys, you do the bro hug, then you come back,
very awkward.
and then you got
Snap
this.
out?
And each
Do you
snap
snap
out?
out?
Well, he's too old
each
to
athlete
snap
may
out.
have a
No, you
totally
gotta
different way
snap
of
out.
doing it. I thought you were going to
Goodell doesn't snap out.
I know you're the big
course he
NFL
does.
guy. But I thought you weren't the glitz and glamour of this supposedly once in a lifetime.
Are you
boxing.
giving
But I don't want to be
Stop.
a Mayweather.
But most
fan.
white guys on a snap out, they end up going like this and then snapping afterwards. It's supposed to be a snap on the move.
Well, it's supposed to be, but as long as you give it
But
a
hasn't it
shot,
modified
so awkward
over
if
the
you don't do it
years?
right.
Get modified by white dudes, old white dudes.
you can't just have it and then stop.
You know who'd be good at that role? Fritzy, because he gives solid hugs, very.
So proud of you.
Because he commits to
Yeah,
the hug.
I don't know.
you're getting a hug
I don't know all the
with Fritzy.
hand stuff, but if I can give a nice big embrace, let the
But
person
if you start
know
going
I'm
like
excited.
this to Amari Cooper's ab
He
region,
probably wouldn't
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, the massaging part, I would have to work on that.
Cupping situation.
Hopefully these players will be
Massaging
ready for
does
these
lead
bro
to
hugs, but a lot of people are getting ready for a magical night in Vegas, but it may not be nearly as magical as the time the boss took the missus out there and decided to say, I love you all over again.
We went to the Elvis Chapel, and we had the older, like the fatter Elvis. So he gave you E. E is for everlasting. L is for love. V. And so he did Elvis, but he spelled it out, Elvis, and he had something for it. Closes the door. My wife didn't know we were doing it. I just said, man, I love Elvis. Can we go to the Elvis Chapel? We get in there. I've already set it up with this guy. And I bought a ring. And so he closes the door, pick out a boutonniere. My wife's going, he thinks we're getting married. I go, I know, let's just play along. And I'd already bought a ring to get remarried. And he started singing. And then she realized she'd been had. But yeah, it was good. It was
You.
I think that's awesome, and then the guys know, and we all have our different ways of doing, different romantic things with our spouses, whether it's how we proposed or just through the course of our relationship, and that always hits home for me. It makes you think back of things you've done for your wife or in the weeks and months leading up to an engagement. So I'm all for that. It may be initially when he was first talking about it, there was a little cheesy Vegas and Fat Elvis and stuff, but once he explained that he's a big Elvis fan and just anything where Dan shows his softer romantic side, I'm interested in hearing stories about that stuff.
Somehow Larry Bird was the Elvis guy, though. See, a lot of people were like, "Was that Larry Bird or Elvis?" Or Dan.
It was a little bit of Larry Bird.
Hey, Seton, if you were getting remarried in a Vegas chapel, what faux musician would you want to officiate the ceremony?
Oh man, is that a great question? What faux musician? Man, you think Vegas? I kind of go to Liberace for some reason right out of the gate. I could see that happening.
Big fan of Lee.
Yeah. I would want to. Who's those guys with the tigers? They're not musicians.
Siegfried and Roy.
Siegfried and Roy. I would like them to remarry.
Kind of scary having tigers around, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be cool though.
It would be memorable.
Yeah, like 3:30 in the morning, tigers,
That would
faux
be,
handlers.
That'd be pretty wild.
Hey, Paul, you said earlier in the segment that you and the wife wanted to go out there, get tanked, and get remarried. Would you be going Fat Elvis, Skinny Elvis, or a different direction?
Either, yeah. My wife brought this up for real. She brought this up this weekend. She goes, "We should do this sometime. Go out to Vegas." And she actually brought up. She goes, like 2 in the morning, go to the Elvis Chapel or one of those little chapels. You're married. I'm like, that seems pretty harmless to me. Sounds like a pretty good time. But yeah, I'm a big Elvis fan too. I saw the pictures and they have the option of the young Elvis or the aging Elvis. And I want like last minutes Elvis, like just sloppy, 2 a.m., just moments before, what happened.
Food stains.
The
Yeah,
last couple he's ever
just
been married.
arteries
Passes
clogged, hair a mess. I want the last moments of Elvis. I didn't see that in the package.
Well, McLovin, what Game of Thrones character would you want to officiate your ceremony?
Ooh.
Umlart?
Scene's got some names.
The Warlock. I'm torn
Game
between
of
the
Thrones.
Warlock
No,
and the Dark
I know. You guys think Daenerys is the obvious answer.
Oh, she's so hot.
Yeah, I know. But I don't really want Daenerys. You know what? I'm gonna go with Tyrion Lannister. He's my favorite character. I know it's unorthodox to have a dwarf with no nose, at least in the book, not in the TV show, which makes no sense.
You're not happy about that.
I would be honored to have Tyrion House of Lannister officiate.
Yes, well, hopefully he survives next season. Fritzy, how about you? Someone from the AVN Awards or the adult world to officiate yours?
That wouldn't be a bad way to go. I don't know if my wife would be into that as much as I would be, like Jenna
Doesn't hurt to
Jameson
ask.
or someone like that.
Well, the great thing about you taking your wife to Vegas, there's no pro sports teams for you to take her to.
That's
Yeah, I
true.
was gonna say,
ball
what
games.
Astro are you gonna fly
That would be,
into?
No,
That
I'd
would
go
be
to see like a UNLV baseball game.
Could
Right.
do that. Could go to the Thomas and Mack Center. We'd probably work that in somehow into the.
Las Vegas 51s, the AAA team.
Yeah, I have been putting them. I've been putting the family through the sports ringer. But yeah, I think we would do the Vegas thing. I would be more likely to do it than Jen. I think she might find that a little hokey, but hopefully I can convince her otherwise.
Yeah, happy anniversary, Jen. What do you want? I want a better anniversary than this. No, dog and a beer. Okay. All right, stay with us. We are going to find out what the hell happened to George Foreman. You know what? He wasn't in the Ram 1500 Eco Diesel. That's probably what happened. Every truck can tow a boat, every truck can climb a hill, every truck can haul a trailer, but not everybody has the most fuel-efficient half-ton truck on the road. I mean, he would have been there for sure. This Ram 1500 Eco Diesel. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram.
Fritzy sends me a note. He said, George Foreman no-go on Monday. I said, okay, no worries. And then Fritzy followed up, and you said what, Fritzy?
I said that all along over the past few weeks, it was George Foreman III that was being pitched to us, and there was definitely a miscommunication there. I was led to believe all along it was going to be the former heavyweight champ until we got a headshot to use for production for today's show, seeing that it was someone significantly younger than George. One of his many kids named George is who they were referring to.
Wow, number 3. Well, welcome back to the box score. Fritzy, how much did George Foreman backing out on you ruin your weekend?
I was able to bounce back relatively quickly because it was kind of an early.
George Foreman
maybe
never backed
afternoon.
out.
What's that?
George Foreman never backed.
George Foreman himself did have. Well, we can't throw George Foreman under the bus. It was a miscommunication between myself and the people that were pitching, who I thought was the former heavyweight champion of the world. And for several hours, I guess Friday afternoon into Friday evening, when I first learned that it was George Foreman III. Nothing against George Foreman III, but we had our hearts set on. At least I did. That the former heavyweight champ was going to be right here in our Milford, Connecticut studios a week before Pacquiao Mayweather. They also had said he was going to bring some memorabilia, which also led me to believe it was definitely going to be George Foreman Sr. I don't know how much memorabilia his son.
I don't
at 20
understand
years
though.
old
Like
would have.
you've said a lot through this. Like you were led to believe. So like you're saying that the people booking this interview with you deliberately deceived you and tricked you.
I felt that way at times because
even though the initial email said George Foreman III.
It did, but everything that was described.
So how is that? How are they misleading? How are they?
You know what? I don't know. Maybe
misleading
that's
you?
just my way of being bitter that I didn't see the Roman numeral III, because everything else attached to that led me to believe that it was.
I mean, it's totally possible that George Foreman III could bring in memorabilia from his dad. That's not all that.
And talk
weird.
boxing.
And talk boxing.
I'll tell you, I read it, and it's
Like, why
pretty
would they
clear
pitch
that
it?
it's George Foreman III, but he also says he's here to talk Pacquiao Mayweather and talk about boxing. But it never says something about it never says like he could talk about his fight with Muhammad Ali or about being the heavyweight champion of the world, things like that aren't necessarily, you don't even really have to put in a press release.
You wouldn't mention.
I can understand Fritzy also not believing that someone would pitch George Foreman's son as a guest. So I'm going to back Fritzy here. He should have read more thoroughly into the email, but
I think
it's like me. If you said, is it Michael Jeffrey Jordan? Isn't his son named Jeffrey Jordan? Hey, if some guy emailed me and said, hey, you want to have Jordan on the show in studio? You could talk about the Bulls' 6 titles. I'm like, great. And then he calls me an hour later and says, yeah, it's Michael Jeffrey Jordan, his son. I'm like, dude.
But what if he said in the original email, it's Michael J. Jordan?
Actually, I think it's Jeffrey Jordan is his son. So
yeah.
Yes, I should have read the email. Fritzy should have read it better. But it's also like, all right.
Well, honestly, I think Fritzy couldn't commute that somebody was trying to get George Foreman III on the show. Like, it didn't register
That was
with
definitely
him.
part of what factored in. It's like, why would it be anyone other than
What we could have done to make it
George
work
Foreman himself,
was
for the Dan Patrick show.
if we had done a panel with Layla Ali, George Foreman, and Marvis Frazier.
Sure.
Now we're talking
Now
a
we're
segment.
talking a segment.
Now we're talking a
Now-
segment.
I was
Go
in,
round table.
I was in Scottsdale a long time ago. I used to live in Scottsdale, and they had this little country western nightclub down there. And I was driving past one day, and in big letters on the marquee it said Reba McEntire. She was one of the biggest stars in country. It's Reba McEntire's sister. And it had Reba McEntire's and a little S and then sister underneath.
being
And my
real
friend Kelly and I
cute.
looked at it like, wait,
That
Reba
is-
McEntire? Cool. And they're like, wait a second, what does that say? And it's Reba McEntire's sister.
Well,
Tammy.
As upset and disappointed as I was, and then having to impart that to the rest of the guys, it would have been far worse. Paulie would have found a way, and the guys, to make it, I guess, amusing. I don't think Dan would have been amused if we were promoting it.
I didn't need
so
a lot of help to
rough,
make it amusing. I didn't
was
need to
just
do a lot of
naturally
producing.
That if George Foreman III would have shown up this morning, and again, the only
What a
thing that
waste.
caught my eye was they sent a photo Friday afternoon, and it was not George Sr. He would have shown up this morning an hour.
It would have been something we were talking about for 20 years.
Yes.
When we had the 20-year
It would have
reunion.
been a
It would have been
classic
top 3
moment.
time. It'd be McLovin breaking his glasses when the wrong George Foreman came
Right,
out.
the wrong George Foreman would have been just a
And
timeless.
Tanya Harding.
If
hung
I
up.
had a time warp, Fritzy wouldn't have checked for the
Yes.
picture of this guy.
Right.
And George Foreman's son, who's like probably 31 years old,
Oh, that
would have
would've
walked in
been
here and
great.
said, let's talk some boxing.
Who are you?
Imagine the panic that would have set in if I would have gone into the.
It would have been so great. Where's your dad?
Well, it's nice that a family member showed up for support and wanted to take the ride to see the studio. Maybe he's a big fan of Dan Patrick.
It would have been
These are
legendary.
national
How
TV
did you
radio never-
unbook that interview?
I communicated with him. I said I was under the impression that it was George, the former heavyweight champion. Well, you sent a photo of, I guess, one of his sons.
What was their response? You said you're under
And
the
they said,
impression.
yeah, I sent you something a number of weeks ago that it was George Foreman III. I felt bad, but then I went on to try to back myself up, saying,
And blame them on national television and
why
radio.
would you? I don't understand why you would be pitching someone other than the.
Who would you say if you're giving a
Other than
percentage?
the number 3, I didn't see anything.
If
up
you're
there.
giving a percentage, who was at fault here? Would you say the PR person or yourself? If you're putting a percentage,
I would put a little more, not a lot more. I'd put a little more on me. I wish it would have been clearer. I wish I would have seen the Roman numeral 3, and then I would have
Wait,
said.
can we-
Just to be clear, is this?
Can all
is
three
this
of us
George
answer
or
that
son?
question?
Yes.
I put 100% on Fritzy.
I put 100% on top.
I have no problem with the way the PR. Well, I don't think it's that
They
big a
said
deal,
George
but-
Foreman III. Like it said right there, and then you read in. You didn't read the 3, and then read into every other statement.
I don't think it's that bad a mistake. I understand totally why you did
I think it
it.
could have been clearer, and I should
Besides his full name.
Besides his full name.
I should have seen, or it's just some.
They should have
word,
said the
some
son
word
of George Foreman.
Yeah, some word, phrase, or sentence I was hoping would have been in the body of the pitch that would have said, "Oh, this is his son," or "This is not the George Foreman I'm thinking."
His famous father. Yeah,
but again, there was a Roman numeral 3 there. Somehow they thought it was enough to just put that was enough with everything else.
You
that
thought
was
it
the
was
whole
a
body
typo?
of the
Like
pitch.
I, it's just a typo.
I would love that on the show.
I hope that you.
So sad that he
I don't think it's the grilled champion.
So 51-49 is what you're
I
saying.
just had this image of Dan just staring at this kid and being like, just like a minute of silence.
Fritzy.
I didn't know what Dan's response was. I texted him. I felt bad because I sent him a note.
I would love to know the exact context.
I sent Dan a text saying that George is out, and then I didn't feel like I should leave it at that because that doesn't tell the whole story. And then I was feeling guilty that I didn't, wasn't forthcoming enough that he didn't just cancel on us. And then if he brings it up on the show Monday that George blew us off or thinks he.
How much were you hoping it was not brought up today?
I was kind of hoping it wouldn't be brought up today, but knowing you guys and knowing that, I had a feeling it was going to be brought up. But after I sent him the second note saying that I was under the impression that it was George Sr., it was George Jr. they were pitching, he sent me "Oh God" as the text back, which again I didn't know what to make of that.
That doesn't say unbook him. Oh God doesn't mean unbook him.
No, but I assumed forget that. But I didn't know is he pissed? Is he disappointed? Is he frustrated? Is he just moving on?
This is so much better than an actual George Foreman interview. Like George Foreman is probably a really nice guy. Seems really cool. If he would have come in, we'd have done a nice interview.
Smile.
But us almost booking his son is way better.
The only thing that could have been better if his son walked in the door. That would have been the best.
The champ's son is here.
Would have been all time.
There's always tomorrow. Stay with us. We are
Back to you,
doing
Brock.
some mock headline battling after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Box Score. It is Monday. We are kicking off Monday like we do every week here on the Box Score. It's time for another round of this.
Mock Headline Battle Royale!
The rules have not changed. I give you a headline, you simply give me a mock headline. The first headline: Cavs guard J.R. Smith ejected after Game 4 after smacking Jay Crowder up in the face. Seton, start us off.
New England Crowder. Smith tells Jay to clam it with a cracker in the mouth.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, that's what kind of day it's gonna be.
You better just walk off. Get out of here. You're done.
That belt right there will be sitting right here.
That's great chatter. All right, Paulie.
I'm not even going to try to compete with that because mine's so bad. I basically spent the entire time thinking to myself, why would someone name their kid Jay and spell it J-A-E? Like, why would you do that? Is it J-A-E-S-O-N, which is even worse? Why not Y? Why would you put your kid through that? So in lieu of an actual headline, that's my commentary.
Nice.
Yeah.
Parents try to.
Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Crowder, what the hell were you thinking? Fritzy, your headline.
Not as good as Seton's, but I also went in the food direction. Slam Crowder. What's soup with JR? Seton's got a better version.
McLovin.
I have half a headline, so bear with me. 3-point specialist is a Crowder. Like 3 is a crowd,
3 is a Crowder.
but that's all I have.
That was happening.
It was on its way.
It's half a headline.
Work it out.
Headline number 2. Alex Rodriguez hits 659th career home run in a win over the Mets. McLovin, take it away.
A-Rod 1 short of tying Willie Mays at 660. 7 short of honoring his mentor at 666.
El Diablo.
That's it. I'm done. I'm not even going to try. Mentor.
That's really
Satan. Fritzy.
Vilestone, as he approaches Mays, many still hate number 13.
Not bad.
More
funny.
Not bad.
Vilestone.
Seton, your
choice.
submission.
Will he say, "Hey, kid, Maysby, you can stop hitting home runs or something"?
Maysby.
Maybe.
Will he say, "Hey, kid, Maysby, you can stop hitting home runs or something"? Will he?
Paulie.
Will he?
Completely phoned in. Yanks not juiced up about A-Rod milestone.
Come on, Paul. That's a low blow, and you know it.
I like that. Third headline on the day: Wizards sweep Raptors for the first best. Of the 7 sweep. For the first best of. Let me get this right. Wizards sweep Raptors for the first best-of-7 sweep in franchise history. Paulie, have at it.
Can you believe it? Wiz sweep the Raptors.
Beal.
Bradley Beal. He's definitely on the team.
He is.
Oh, violence. Whoa. Pitchforks.
Wow. Pitchforks and torches. Seton.
Quite nice.
The truth hurts. Elderly Pierce sore after historic series. Paul Pierce. The truth.
Paul Pierce.
Hurts is his name. The truth hurts.
McLovin.
He added something.
Welcome to the game.
What the Elvin? I would have thought Hayes and Wes Unseld would have had a sweep. Elvin Hayes.
Elvin Hayes and Wes Unseld.
What the Elvin?
Kevin Greavy, Mitch Kupchak.
Fritzy.
For a certain demographic.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Todd Fritz, please.
Oh, I went with Oh Canada, a piercing blow as nobody beats the Wizards.
Nobody beats the Wiz, right?
Nobody beats the Wiz.
In this case, nobody beats the Wizards.
Today's fourth and final headline is Bill Belichick and Russell Wilson caught spying on Chrissy Teigen's booty during White House Correspondents' Dinner. Fritzy, it's all yours.
Look, but don't tush. Chrissy calls it a different type of inflate.
McLovin.
Boner joke.
A little boner joke.
Neutral zone infraction. Coach's eyes off sides as officials call a legal end around.
A lot of innuendo there. Paulie, your headline, please.
Belichick her out. Hoodie caught looking at Chrissy's goodies.
I like that. Oh, and with the New Jack swing. Seton, wrap it up, please.
Call of booty. Belichick and Wilson doing what every other heterosexual male in the world would also do. Call of booty.
And with that, the mock headline champion this week is Seton O'Connor.
You know, the stars align sometimes, guys.
I thought What the Elvin was coming from me.
What the Elvin?
What the Elvin? How did Seton win?
Don't go away. We're looking back
Wes
at a
Unseld.
cinematic classic. Speaking of classics, the Ram Heavy Duty with its best-in-class towing, torque, and horsepower. That needs all the awards. It gets them all. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram. We're closing up shop here at the Box Score Bar. The movie Goodfellas turns 25 this year. Seton, if you could be one character from that movie, who would it be?
Holy smoke.
Does it have to be a star character?
No.
No, probably not. You're good at those random characters.
What about Spider, played by Michael Imperioli?
Yeah, Spider's a pretty memorable one.
Doesn't really end well.
Really bad. It doesn't really end well for anybody. I
Yeah.
mean, they all end up either dead or in jail. So,
Carbone?
It's tough to not be De Niro.
Yeah.
It's pretty much Jimmy Conway. He's pretty much the badass. So I don't know how you wouldn't want to be him.
I like Pesci. I was gonna say, as cool as Ray Liotta was to me, I just maybe it was just that scene with the and especially hearing today that wasn't scripted. The whole am I here to make you laugh? Am I a clown? Am I funny to you? I thought that always, when I think of that movie, I think of that always.
For me, it's easy. Karen, down there.
Yeah.
Down there.
Hendry.
Did you know too that the FBI guy that puts them in the
Real.
witness protection program, where he's like, listen, I don't really care if you do or whatever, but that guy was really the guy that did it.
Yeah.
He was the real guy. He's not even an actor. He was the real guy.
Oh man.
Goodfellas.
If you're
Goodfellas.
legitimately
Yes,
bronchial,
see
we
that
can
again,
do that. Well, you guys had the gentleman who sat down with the entire cast, Craig Melvin, on, and he revealed that the guys didn't think the movie would actually do all that well.
A lot of folks may not realize this, but back in 1990 when this thing came out, they would convene these focus groups. And because back then it was so violent that folks were getting up and walking out. Like, they were leaving nasty notes on the comment cards. They were very concerned. They made Scorsese take some parts out of the movie that were, they felt over the top. So, no, I asked De Niro Saturday night, I was like, when did you realize this movie was going to be what it became? And Liotta interrupted. He's like, tonight. We realized it tonight when the theater was packed and we were celebrating the 25th anniversary.
That's fascinating that they didn't think it would be great. I remember seeing it for the first time, and I was pretty shocked because I saw Goodfellas. And when I remember seeing the trailer on TV, I think I was in college, and my buddies went, and we thought it was gonna be like this fun-loving, like, remember that movie with Steve Martin where he's a mafia guy?
My Blue Heaven?
My Blue Heaven. It's like lighthearted and fun.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was gonna be like this. It looked funny to me. They had the scene where they're all like, haha, and they're all laughing at each other. It's the scene Fritzy was talking about it. And I was like, oh my God, I mean, the violence in there. What was cut out?
And the movie poster looked really cool.
There's that scene, though, where they're walking into, like, the Copa or something, and he goes down through the kitchen, whatever.
Single shot?
Yeah, it's that single shot. They open the doors just as they're putting the table down and whatever in the seats. I'm like, that's exactly how life should be lived.
Right.
That's perfect.
Just set you
That
up.
dude's like, he's got...
So you would be a
world by the-
mafioso?
No, I wouldn't be a mafioso. I would rather just be famous and have people
But everybody drops
take care
everything
of
for
that.
you and make sure that you've
Oh,
got a
yeah.
spot.
You're like, hey, how you doing? Hey, all right,
You'll
thanks a
get a
lot. And then
reservation
Frankie
for-
Valli sends
Yeah.
over some booze. You're
20
like,
years later, a helicopter's following you around Long Island.
well, what happens?
Trade-off.
As long as someone keeps on stirring the sauce. All right, Fritzy, who's on tomorrow?
We'll talk to Ohio State coach Urban Meyer, and Reggie Miller will join us of Turner Sports with the latest from the NBA playoffs.
Very nice. Thank you, gentlemen. We're back tomorrow right here on Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. The podcast is available on iTunes or at podcast1.com. Happy 50th, Bobby.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the box score. Holy cow!